Hello, welcome to Angular After Dark. Today we're going to make a short one, I promise, because I have to go eat dinner in half an hour. So we're continuing where we left off last time. We set up a workspace for Angular Elements experiments, and today we're going to start on adding the GitHub Actions workflow. Since this is published on a GitHub repo, and it's a public repo, we have access to GitHub Actions, the CI/CD solution for GitHub. So let me just hit up my editor on the screen here. Here we go. This is the repo we're working in, and you can still find this on my GitHub profile, LazyDK. It's called Angular Elements Experiments, so just search for elements. Okay, so in one of the previous episodes, we added a feature for the Angular versions action that manages dependencies across, you can run your project across multiple versions of Angular, each in a separate CI job, and that's what we're going to do. But that action will help us switch out the dependencies that are needed by Angular. And that feature has just been published today by Nacho Vasquez, so we should be able to do that if we get that far. First, let's see. Do we need to go on a branch? No, it's just me tying on this repo. So I'm just going to create a .github folder, and I'm going to add ci.yml. It's a YAML file. And I mean, it can be called whatever, but place it in the .github folder in the root directory. Okay, first thing we need to name it. Let's call it Angular Elements Experiments CI. Then we will tell it that under which conditions it's going to be running. And we'll say for each push commit to the main branch, this will be run. On each, we could also say on each pull request to the main, targeting the main branch, this will be run. And I think if you want to run for all pull requests, you would have to do an asterisk like so. Don't quote me on that. Now we'll set up our jobs. So we can have many jobs. They can depend on each other. This should be similar to what you might have experience with from other CI/CD providers. And well, for now, we're just going to see that we can build our project. And we just have one project right now. If you remember, we have this minimal elements without platform and ng-zone application, which uses Angular elements. And we saw last time that we were able to build it now in a production build. And we were also able to serve it. But what we want to do is compare the bundle size across versions of Angular. So that will be interesting. And the benefit here is I'm not going to create 10 different duplicates of this application project. I'm going to let the CI run with different versions of Angular instead. So this first job, let's call it the build job. Now we need to set the OS, the operating system image that GitHub will be using. Let's say Ubuntu latest. It's a Linux distribution. It's a shell server. It doesn't have a desktop or anything like that. In fact, it's just an image. So think of it more like a virtual machine at your disposal. There's also, you could also do Windows latest. That would give you Windows Server. We'll go with Ubuntu. Okay, so first let's see what it looks like to add steps for a job. So these are the various build steps we need. And something you're always going to need, almost always, is the actions checkout action. That will do a git checkout on the current branch. And in this case, it'll be the main branch. In a PR, it will be the branch that opens the PR. And this one has a few parameters as well, but we don't need that right now. The way GitHub Actions work is this is a repo on GitHub. So if we go to github.com/actions/checkout, that will be the repo for this action. And in the same way, the one we're going to use in a minute is called ngWorker Angular versions action. So that should lead you to the Git repository on GitHub for this action. That's pretty nice. You can even go so far as to download the action and run it locally. I mean, it depends on whether it's Node.js GitHub action or it's a container, Docker container. And in that case, you're going to need another solution. Okay, but we need the actions checkout, and the actions organization is the official GitHub Actions by GitHub. So we say we're using version 2 major. There could be something like version 2.3 as well, but we're just saying give us the latest whatever 2.x is right now. That's kind of the convention for GitHub Actions. And we follow the same convention for the ngWorker Angular versions action. Okay, so this is the first step. It's like running git checkout for the current branch, because the virtual machine you're getting here, the Ubuntu machine, it won't have your code in it. So of course you need to check out. And yeah, the nice thing is that GitHub has set up so that it understands which repo it's being run in. So you don't have to point it to the repository and so on. That's being handled by the action. Yeah, so this was one step. Next one could be, now we'll name this one, use Node.js, and let's see. We will run, yeah, that's actually a good question. But let's for now run use Node.js 12. Because that's supported by all the versions of Angular we want to run on. Some of them also support Node.js 10, but Angular 12 will only support Node.js 12 and 14. And Angular up until version 11 will not support Node.js 14. So let's go with the common supported version, which is 12 at this point. So this is just a name. Now I need to tell which action. So look at these as separate steps. This is one step. This is the next step that will be run. So for this, we need the actions, set up node, version 1. Now we need to pass it a parameter, which is node version. And we will give it 12.x. That will set up Node.js version 12. Whatever is the latest version on this virtual machine, our GitHub Actions runner. So now we have the environment set up. And the next step then is, we can just say run. That will open up a terminal depending on the operating system. This is Ubuntu. So it will be an Ubuntu default shell. So now we can run a console command. Let's say we're using yarn. No, we're using pnpm in this one. I can see that over here. So pnpm install. To install, because we checked out all the files, but now we need to, yeah, you know the deal. Create node modules folder on this agent as well. And luckily, pnpm is pretty fast at that. We can add a caching mechanism, and we might do that later. For now, let's just spend the time it uses for this. The next console or terminal command will be, well, now we actually have like the environment. Let's add a comment here. Source code. and then we'll have environment, set up environment. And now we'll have perform the action. Now we have like in this runner, we have a working repository with all the source code and all the node dependencies and then operating system and a Node.js version. Oh, I guess PNPM is not installed by default. NPM and Yarn is. So I guess we need to install PNPM first. So let's do that. We can do that using what's the command for installing Yarn, a package globally with Yarn? Is it yarn global add, or is it add global? No, that wouldn't make sense. Probably this. So we have Yarn. We'll use that to globally install PNPM. But now I'm uncertain whether the path will be set up correctly. So instead we might use npm install global PNPM. But let's go for Yarn since it's faster. So let's see if this works. So with that installed globally, if the paths are set up correctly, we should have access to PNPM. So with that out of the way, now we should be able to run whatever command we want to run here from our or script from our package.json file. So let's do the production build. So we'll do PNPM build. That's it. You know what? Maybe we should do a pull request. Yeah, we probably should. Then we can see what it looks like to run the GitHub Actions in a pull request. So let's branch out. CI workflow. And of course, this will build using whatever dependency is here in package.json, which is Angular 11.2. But after we see this working, we will add the Angular versions action so that we can test it across versions of Angular. This is a jar add CI workflow. And then I'll open up a pull request. So let me find a browser. Second. Hey, Andre, thank you for joining. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I'll zoom in a bit. Is this enough? And oh, that's the wrong one. Let's go to my repos. This one, the Angular Elements experiments. Did I push it? No, I should push this branch to the remote now. And with that, yeah, I think this is the GitHub Refined extension that makes this show up, or it could be GitHub itself. I never know, but I really like that extension, GitHub Refined for Chrome or whatever. So now I can do a quick pull request here against the main branch. And let's make it a draft because it's not ready yet. I know I'm the only one working on this repo, but just a mental note, still a work in progress, cannot be merged. Now we should see GitHub Actions actually being run. It should usually be shown here in the checks, but let's go here to the Actions tab of the repo. Is it not picking that up until I merge it the first time? What if do I need to make it a full PR? Still not registering. Okay. Okay, maybe we need to push it the first time. But when you make changes to this file, the changes will be run in this PR. Well, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, I would hate to push or merge a failing CI workflow, so I would really like to see it run first. How can I do that? I need to Google. if you know how, let me know. How to add GitHub Actions. Mm-hmm. Oh. I might have told you a lie. This file should actually be in .github/workflows. So maybe that's the convention. Let's see if this is better. That would be nice. Oh, I didn't push it. My bad. Come on, GitHub. We're waiting. Should I refresh? I'll try that. Wait, I did push it to the right branch. Yeah. Should be in sync. And should be in the right folder now. So why is that commit not showing up? That's strange. If you have any idea what's going on, let me know. I can't figure it out. Is it having a hiccup because it needs to add this GitHub action workflow? There's only one commit. What's going on? Branch. Latest commit 2 minutes ago. Move. Okay. So the pull request should also update. What's wrong with this pull request? It only shows one of the commits. That's very strange. I broke GitHub. I'm very sorry. How about making it a draft? Marking it as ready? No, still only one commit. That makes no sense at all. What files does it have? Yeah, it still has it in the original wrong location. So broke GitHub. And I'll open a new PR. So we'll take this feature branch, and now we have 2 commits. So let's create this new pull request, make it a draft. It should still work until I'm happy with the result. I wonder if it will trigger the checks now. I should have spelled it wrong, right this time. .github/workflows and whatever.yaml. Could be a syntax error. Do I have like some extension? Actions. YAML validate. Oh, that's for Azure pipelines. So that will. It's but it did on. Oh, it does detect a syntax error here. So maybe it's some nesting. Why is this? How is this a syntax error? Poking it doesn't help. Oh, today YAML is the enemy, as always. YAML is a terrible format. I mean, just give me some JSON, or Azure just introduced this bicep instead. Maybe give me that. But it's YAML nonsense. Why would this be a syntax error? What's going on here? This makes no sense. This one is fine. Call it on. It's unhappy. What's up with that? Okay. Now I take this YAML and we'll validate it here. Go. Valid YAML. Okay. Wait. What? What happened? Why is it mangled? this. What's up with this? Okay. This is my source. And go. And it just messes it up. This is a strange tool. A clean UTF-8 version of it. Okay, this tool, I also broke this tool today. Sorry for all of you. Okay, let me paste it from a working workflow. Yeah, it's still the same, no changes. So this is probably not it. So why is GitHub not picking it up? Jobs, build, runs on. Oh, careful with the nesting. YAML is white space sensitive. So the build job has this image and these steps. Yeah, and Andre also suggested this. So yeah, you noticed it just before me. Okay. Yeah, that's probably it. But who knows? It's not my lucky day for sure. And I have 5 minutes left of this live stream, so better work, GitHub. Did I forget to push again? Yeah, I'm terrible. Come on. Yeah, third commit. Let me see some GitHub actions. What's that? Can you see that? Like a pink something? Oh, whatever. Actions. Still Unhappy? Okay, mark it as ready for review. Regular PR. No, I don't want to merge. I want to see it run. It should come up here in the checks. Tell me what's wrong. Workflow syntax. No. Yes. So they use this format, but shouldn't matter. A lot of helpful information, but not the one I'm looking for. Jobs. Jobs. Steps. Where are the steps? Here they are. So let's copy this. See if we have similar syntax. Hello there. Jobs. Build. Don't need a name. Steps. This is the same, right? Like if I copy pasted this, nothing would change. What changed? Indentation again? You kidding me? Yeah, it's indentation again. I hate you, YAML. I hate you. Like my editor is indenting when I press save, so what's the right syntax? Who's wrong? The documentation or whatever in VS Code is doing this? They definitely have like the dash on the same indentation as the S in steps. So is it you, prettier? Is it you again? Oh dear. Should be like this. When I press save, it's indented. Life. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to say open up in another editor. How about trusty old Notepad? No extensions to mess things up. So we should have level. Started my first HTML programming, and yeah, HTML is a programming language. I don't care what you say, but I started that using Notepad, so it still works to this day, even for YAML. And VS Code fails. So now we have this change, and if I'm careful not to open and save it in VS Code, might be what's wrong, but I don't know. I'm not a YAML expert. I always mess it up. But let's see. Maybe fix indentation. Push it. It is pushed. So let's go back to this PR. Okay, I could really use a built-in linter from GitHub to tell me what's wrong with my GitHub Actions workflow, because I have no idea. Like, this is YAML, and it's just strange. I do see a working workflow where the indentation is as the editor suggested, like 2 levels more in. So what is the issue here? Like, it's not even running. So that would suggest syntax error. Even then, I would kind of assume that GitHub Actions would pick it up. Okay, but I will yeah, I will add this again because VS Code extension won't let it be the other way, and this is working in another repo, so it shouldn't be a problem. This is very strange. Oh, how about this? Oh, it has to be double quotes. Who's deciding that? Is that you, Prettier? Is that you? I'm looking at you. Tag the string? I don't know. Could be anything at this point. Okay, Andre is suggesting, what if you add the action? I can put it up here on the screen maybe. What if you add the action directly on the main branch? I think the problem is that your action is in the PR, but not in the main branch, so there's nothing to run. Yeah, I mean, I can try that, but when I have set up workflow number 2 in a repo, that it does have an existing workflow, but when I'm adding another one in a branch, that workflow will be activated immediately in that branch. But yeah, who knows? It's worth a try. So I'll try to push this if it doesn't work at this point, and it doesn't seem so, since the checks is just this landing page. So let's try to push this. Has not been run yet. I'm really not happy with this because I haven't seen the action run. Lots of things could go wrong. So I'm not happy about merging, but let's try that as one last option. More likely than that I broke something in my file than it's GitHub broken. I'll admit that. Okay, so now it's merged, and that means we should see now an action being run. Oh, here it is. You were right, Andre. Thank you. I was going to try that, but that makes no sense to me. But because now we might have a failing CI, but let's see. Now we can see the jobs here, and we can see the trigger on push to the main branch. So let's look inside of this build job. Yeah. Action. Oh, yeah. See that? I made a typo. It should be actions. So this is why I didn't want to merge it. This really sucks. I have this nice little PowerShell script, but in this case it failed me for some reason. Usually it goes to whatever is the main branch, because in some cases it's main and some it's master. But sometimes it fails me with this error, and I have no idea how to do that. Maybe it's because this repo started on my local machine rather than cloning it from GitHub. Maybe that's what messes it up. But now I'm on the main branch. I can run it again. It will pull and delete the branches that have been merged, this one. So now I have a clean local representation of the repo. So let's try to open a branch. Am I using jar? There's a CI prefix. CI fix workflow. Okay, and now that it does know how to run an action, even though it failed miserably, should be able to see it in a PR branch. Correct action name. Push this branch. Synced. And open up a pull request. This one. Now I want it to be a draft until I'm happy with the result. So now's the question, will it run this one? Should be triggered in checks. Completed with no jobs. No, it does have a job. This is really strange. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Usually it runs the CI workflow from the branch, not the main branch, like from the PR feature branch. Wait. Now? Oh, now it's what? It ran it 2 times all of a sudden. Maybe something is broken on GitHub right now. That happens from time to time. I mean, it should happen 2 times, like one for a pull request commit, and one for when it's merged and then pushed to the main branch. But this is the wrong order, because the first one being run was the pull request, the merge. So this makes no sense. So I mean, it's probably still me messing up, but it might be GitHub having issues right now. This makes no sense to me, and I've been working with GitHub Actions for a while. So, but let me try to merge this one as well, even though this is really terrible practice. But something strange is going on. See if this can trigger. Yeah, this will trigger the action. I mean, did I spell something wrong here? Pull request, branches. No, this should be good. Yeah. But I still didn't like. Yeah, okay. So at least now it ran, like this is just setting up the virtual machine and so on. It's downloading the required actions. So now it ran the GitHub checkout or the checkout action from GitHub to get the source code. And then it installed Node.js version 12, 12.21, 64 bits, and also has npm installed with this version. And we ran yarn global add pnpm. We got this version of pnpm with these binaries, so we should be able to run pnpm. So what's going wrong? Pnpm command not found. Okay, so it's probably the path. Like it's not aware of where yarn installs these binaries globally. So I mean, I really hate that I have to. It only works right now when I'm like pushing to main. That's kind of strange. I'm hoping it's a temporary issue with GitHub, because I simply cannot find out what's wrong in this file then. So I guess I'll be pushing directly to main to fix this for now. So instead of yarn global add pnpm, I'll do npm install global pnpm, because I think that works. Now we're using npm instead of yarn to install it globally in the pnpm package manager. Pushing this to main, and that should trigger the action again. So we can go up here. There won't be a pull request to see the build, so it should just turn up here in action, and it does. Oh, wait. How many jobs are being run? Why is it? Oh, I guess it's one for the branch and one for the main, like one for PR and one for main branch. Yeah, whatever. So this is the current commit. Let's see if it works now. No, still not good. Oh, pnpm install worked. That's good. That's one more step working. Oh, okay. So now it's actually running the build script. So it's triggering ng build prod. But I added this ES5 browser support that I thought was deprecated and seems to be. So it wasn't in Angular 9 I based this project on. So let's remove that as well. So to do that, I'll have to go into, excuse me for a second. Okay, I really need to go, but I have some errands to run. Okay, ES5, this configuration, so this should be removed. But let me just save it for the Git message. Move, deprecated, or yeah, it's removed, but whatever. Let's see if we can get this to trigger and complete the build for now. And then next time we'll add the Angular versions action to run it across Angular versions. And fortunately, GitHub Actions is pretty fast. Like, it's a lot faster than what you get in the lower tiers of other CI/CD providers. And this one is even for free, simply because I have a public repo. So that's really great. Oh yeah, this is pnpm showing all these messages. You can remove those by adding a few parameters. Yeah, might do that some other time. For now, we can see the build is being run now, and it's running ngcc, the Angular compatibility compiler. And if we're lucky, yeah, it was a success. And now the rest is just cleanup for these different actions and tearing down the environment. But this step, actually, we can see the finished bundle size here, 74.47 kilobytes uncompressed. So we'll also add gzip and then output the bundle size of the gzip bundle. And we'll do that for multiple versions of Angular to compare if major or minor releases of Angular has any effect on various techniques of using Angular elements. This one is a very experimental technique. There's a few of them, so this will be fun. How fast did this run? 50 seconds. Like, that's super fast. Yeah, this is probably this. I thought this would be the slowest, but it's actually not. Like installing PNPM. Notice that PNPM, even without caching on the runner, installs all the dependencies in 18 seconds. That's incredibly fast for Node modules. Like it's installing 1211 npm packages. So I highly recommend PNPM. I've had a few issues using it. For example, on Azure DevOps, Azure pipelines. I don't know if it's me doing something wrong. Maybe it has to do with in that project we're using Windows images, Windows Server. So there might be something about the caching of its global store, the PNPM store. It might be where that point where like getting into issues. I also had some troubles in adding PNPM to the Lumberjack repo, but we have 2 other repos using NX where it's working just great. So yeah, if you can use it, it's so much faster than both NPM and Yarn. Yeah, so that's it for today. Let me find my new logo here, Angular After Dark. You have a nice day. Bye.